You talk and you sleep, but I don't mind it, I feel the heat. Need you wrapped all around me, 'cause I just can't get enough of you. With every word we're saying, oh, and every step we're taking, I wanna let you know till the end of the night. I've been waiting, it don't matter what you do till the end of the night. We can't run away, 'cause I'll be loving you till the end of the night. We can run till the end of the night, till the end of the night. We can run till the end of the night, till the end of the I can't get enough of you, but I can take this no more. I can't get enough of you, but I can take this no more. I wanna let you know till the end of the night. I've been waiting, it don't matter what you do till the end of the night.
Alright. Good evening, everybody. Good night, depending on where you are. Hope everybody's doing good. I know we streamed for about an hour earlier today, but since there was no Nature Nova on today, I figured I would pop back on later this evening, and so here we are. Maybe we can get a good bit of science in. We are up to nearly 1.3 million Kerbucks, so doing good in that regard. Let's see. Let's check the research and development building and see what we want to unlock next. This aerodynamics one would be pretty cool. It gives us a good number of parts. I'm wondering where those structural panels are. Like the just the squares. I have yet to see those. Maybe up here. Composites. Oh yeah, they're all under composites. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Let's fast forward a couple days here and check mission control. I think what I would like to do next would be a return vehicle from Minmus. So let's open up. Let's see, it was Elcano for for the Mun. I don't see why we couldn't use this for. I don't see why we couldn't use this for Minmus as well. Let's see. Are there any updates or upgrades we would like to make to this thing? We have all the science that available. Besides the scanning arm. Hey! Yeah, I'm back now. Like I said, I had to cut it short earlier, just to, you know, facilitate this, but we had some dinner, and then, there was no Nature Nova on tonight. There was, some kind of, like the national convention or something like that going on, so, no Nature Nova, so, yeah, figured we'd hop back on here and, see what we could get going. So what we're looking at right now is updating this lander. So it's actually we sent this one out to the Mun earlier, or a few episodes ago. So it this bottom stage. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So this bottom stage is a lander. So we landed it on the Mun. This is built off of our Magellan architecture. Magellan was some of our Mun landers, and this one, Elcano, is named after one of the leaders of the Magellan expedition, the first circumnavigation of the globe. Because Magellan actually died during it. He didn't actually make the whole circumnavigation. And Elcano was a Spanish explorer. He was like a famous navigator, and he had a ship that was in Magellan's expedition. So I figured, you know, we had sent Magellan out to the moon, or to the Mun. And since he didn't make it back, but Elcano did, you know, I figured we would name our return vessels Elcano since they returned to Kerbin. So we land just like the Magellans. So this lower stage stays on the Mun, but then this whole upper section, it launches off of this, you know, like a launch pad, and then flies all the way back to Kerbin. So we're looking at doing this for Minmus also, which is the other moon around Kerbin. So I'm honestly thinking we might just stick with the Elcano. We can upgrade these solar panels. That's one thing we have unlocked since then. Although they are pretty big. See, these are smaller, but once they're deployed, they're out. So that wouldn't be good for our return vessel. Although if it's on this body stage, it shouldn't matter. We'll get rid of those on the lander. We'll give it a couple of these big ones. I usually use the longer ones, but these short stubby ones, I feel like they'll be better for a lander design. Pull those in. So we'll call this Elcano 2. And then let's get it on top of our Atlas Centaur, which we gotta make sure to get the newest version of. Oh, and it deletes that fairing. So Let's get rid of that. Save the Elcano 2, and let's actually open up Centaurus. So we need to just save this as what it is, and then get rid of that upper stage, save and continue, and then we can just merge the Elcano 2 in. Actually, let's see. Let's go back and check the logs, and let's go back and see what we launched the Elcano one on. I was thinking it was a Atlas Centaur, but it may not. It's a good thing that we've been keeping track of all of our missions here. Oh, we actually did fly an Elcano 2. Huh, we flew them on Omegas? I could have swore it was on a Atlas Centaur. Oh well. So we actually need to continue here. So let's rename this Elcano 3. I forgot I had done 2 of them. Oh yeah, because we accidentally radioed home all the science on Elcano 1, so we did send another one. So Elcano 3 is now the updated, and we'll have to put it on top of an Omega rocket. Don't name them after Cortez. Oh yeah. Yeah, we don't want to be stranded. Although I nearly did strand those Kerbals earlier. They almost didn't make it back. But luckily they did. So let's copy Elcano 2, its information. And we'll put it here. Elcano 3. Menless lander, sample return. That. Okay. So now let's go in here. Open up our Omega rocket. Here we go. Omega. Oh, and it's actually still got Elcano 2 on it. Let's get rid of that. And this is not the test article anymore, it's just 001. So let's just rename this 001. And what was the fairing configuration? A0. So 001 A0. So that's Omega 01 A0. That signifies that we've got the 1.875, no, not 18.8, 1.875 meter fairing. Fairing 0 SRBs. Yes, I want to stick to this naming convention. That way we can make sure, you know, for each specific model that we have the right one. So this is saying that it's an Omega rocket, and this is still the first iteration of it because we haven't had to make any big changes. And then the A0 classification, A is the 1.875 meter fairing, because we still don't have the 2.5 unlocked yet. So even though this is a 2.5 meter wide stage, we've only got the smaller fairing. So an A indicates the 1.875 meter fairing, and the 0 indicates that we've got 0 SRBs on. So for those new to the series, maybe didn't see the first few episodes or anything, we're playing by a rule set similar to what EJ and others play with, but I kind of took their idea and ran with it. So we play by this handbook. You've got some rules, like can't quick save and quick load. So if we forget something on a mission, we have to see it through. It's like real life. You can't just reverse time and say, oh no, that's fine. Recovery, we're eventually going to have to go recover all our capsules and things like that if they splash down. Kerbals can only stay in orbit for like so long, things of that nature, like it would be in real life. And then for spacecraft, we have to serialize them. So for us, that means, rockets in real life, they don't just make a new rocket every time they need to. Like, they don't make a new design every time they need to launch something. And so this makes it where we've had to kind of make some designs and stick to them. And you can build new rockets, but you have to pay for it in game. So it actually costs Kerbucks, which is the KSP version of US dollars. And they've never named them like specifically, but I've heard them called Kerbucks. That's what I went with. And we can make variants of craft, but there again, we have to pay for it. So, for this example, we went ahead and added some decouplers here on the side. We just have them turned off. But if we've got a heavier payload mission, and since we've already paid for this to be, in the architecture, then it's already covered. So, if we've got a mission with a heavier payload, you can add 2 SRBs to it. You can add some on each side. Now you'll still have to make sure they're lined up and everything. You can add 4 SRBs. If it's a big enough load, at this point I think you just need a new rocket, but you can put 3 SRBs in there. There we are overweight. So you can have 2 SRBs, you can have 4, you can have 6. So it made it where we could have different iterations of this without actually having to pay for variants. Now, like if we want to change our engines out down here, try something different, then we'll have to pay for that. I would like to build a Saturn V as soon as we unlock the parts for it. So our fuel tanks now, the biggest we have right now is 2.5 meter. There are Saturn parts in the game, so let's go check that out. So in career mode that we're playing, you start out with just a few basic parts, and you have to go out exploring and collect science. And with science, you get to unlock new parts with the tech tree. So we've just started in. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've just started in here on the 6th tier. But up here, once we unlock heavier rocketry, we get like the J2 engine, the Soyuz style engine, the upper stage for Titans. You get a good mix there. But then up here, very heavy rocketry is where you get like the space shuttle main engines, the F1 for the Saturn V, and similar with fuel tanks. Advanced fuel tanks here, it gives you some more 2.5 meter. Let's see, large volume containment. This is like your S4B size. That's about the size of those. And then high performance fuel systems. This is your Saturn V. Like there's the engine mount section for the Saturn V. Your Saturn 1C style fuel tanks, things of that nature. So as soon as we unlock these, we're definitely gonna have both a Saturn 1B and a Saturn 5. I said at the beginning of this I wasn't gonna do all historical rockets, but so far all except for one of our designs is historical. So at the moment we have 3 main launch vehicles. This is our 2.5 meter, and this isn't based on real life, although it does kind of look like the new Vulcan rocket. But this is my design for a 2.5 meter rocket. Once we unlock some better engines, we'll probably make a few more rockets. But for right now, this is our super heavy lifter, our medium duty, if you will. Where is it? Our medium duty rocket is a Titan 1. So that's a real life rocket with our Gemini capsule up there. And then our light payload rocket. Let's see where it is. Here you go. Our light payload rocket is an Atlas Centaur. I still need to get the true stage and a half skirt down here, which we still haven't unlocked those parts yet. But once we get those parts unlocked, we'll get that updated. Well, we have the tubes now. So for the time being, instead of this whole skirt coming off, these 2 outer engines just decouple off halfway in the flight. I don't like these vernier engines because they're way bigger than they should be. One of the next tech nodes we're going to unlock gets us the correct vernier engines for this, and I really feel like they should be lower in the tech tree. But yeah, this is our Atlas Centaur. Our upper stage here, the Centaur, super good. It's just so underpowered. Yeah, the Saturn V, although, you're never going to want to have an issue, but at least with the Saturn V, early in the flight, if something were to happen, they had the launch escape system. They could get away from the rocket, if something went wrong. And I know NASA had a lot of contingency plans for this shuttle. Like if it had something go wrong and they had to do like a return to launch site abort. They had a whole bunch of procedures and everything, but from what I've read and seen, anything within the first 4 or 5 minutes of flight, like if you had an issue, it was pretty much, total loss of craft and crew. There were a few things they could have tried to do, like if they had like an SRB explosion or the external tank popped or something like that. They had a few things they could try as far as abort procedures, but in a real life accident, the first few minutes of a shuttle flight are pretty much unrecoverable, unfortunately. Still a great aircraft, and spacecraft. I love the shuttle, but a lot of its issues were, I guess, Congress caused. Let's see, the Challenger, a lot of people talk about how the capsule actually broke away during the explosion, and they might have actually survived at that point. In the early stages of the shuttle development, they had actually designed the capsule area, like the crew module area, to break away from the rest of the shuttle in case of a big explosion like that. And the whole section was supposed to have like parachutes and be recoverable. Like it was supposed to break away if something like that happened. And then, you know, it would have its own systems, you know, for parachutes and stuff like that, for them to, you know, escape with. And there were even thoughts of some kind of launch escape system, kind of like certain aircraft, like the F-111 Aardvark. Its whole, like, crew capsule is ejected if they have to punch out. So, you know, there were thoughts of doing that, like where the whole crew section would just break away from the rest of the shuttle and get to safety. But due to budget cuts and things getting moved around and changing needs for the shuttle, you know, because the Air Force was saying, hey, we want it to do this, this, and this, and NASA was saying, well, we want it to do this and this and this. And then, you know, certain expectations changed. The funding wasn't there, so certain things like the cockpit breaking away and having its own emergency chute system fell by the wayside. So I guess you could say, you know, during that disaster, during that explosion, the capsule did what it was designed to do, but it just didn't have any of the recovery options that it should have. So unfortunately, the shuttle was made a lot more dangerous than it needed to be. And, you know, there were a lot of studies. There were a lot of studies done in like the late 80s and early 90s on shuttle upgrades, or, you know, like it. There were kind of two trains of thought. There was the thought of updating the current shuttles, you know, what they had, and then there was also some proposals to, you know, completely make a brand new shuttle. And they, you know, because they were taking the ideas that you know, things they had seen and learned from to make a better craft, but, you know, budget cuts and all that good crap saw all those ideas canceled. So, as usual, bureaucracy gets in front of the way of progress. So let's go ahead. We'll finally replace those with those. Let's start working on the new iteration of our Atlas Centaur here. Let's get rid of those. And for right now, we'll just move these up here. So let's find... Let's turn that shroud off. And then, hi Sam. Let's take this structural tube. Let's see, now we need the 18, don't we? So this is what we did last time. So we made kind of a skirt like this, and then let's see, I would like to use these because it looks better, but we're actually gonna have to use these little tanks because they actually have liquid fuel and oxidizer in them. So we're gonna have to enable cross feed on our decoupler down here. And these need to move in and get aligned with with their counterparts upstream. Okay. Move this up where it looks correct. Let's we can't rotate these. Nope, that's gonna. Let's turn that to individual. Nope. There we go. I feel like this section looked better last time. Okay. Yeah, hi Sam. She occasionally likes to come in here while I'm streaming and just yell at me. So we always have that to look forward to. Actually, I could come up just a little bit more. Alright, so let's run some tests here since we're in simulation mode. I don't remember how we did this last time. I feel like it looked better than this. Okay. So first, I just want to see that center engine run to make sure it can actually produce thrust. Disable staging. And then we'll see how those do. Oh no, that doesn't need to be disabled, does it? Put it there. Let's roll this out and do a test with it. No remote control parts. Huh. I guess we do need to add a probe core to this eventually. Let's give it a couple batteries. Make sure it doesn't die. I guess that will also be one of our upgrades here. Let's roll this out here and see. I need to go back and look at the pictures of the Atlas Centaur I made last time, because I feel like this engine section looked different than this. So, aim camera down here. Okay. So it does appear to actually make thrust through those. Let's see, all three engines are firing. See, that needs to be auto-strutted. As well as that. So if we decouple... Okay. Well, it did come off okay, but it did kind of bounce into the engine here. Let's try that again. So one of the things, I was saying earlier, we can't revert. That's when we're in mission mode. So you'll see it says engineering mode right now. Mission mode is like real life. That's when we run a mission, it's happening, and that's good to go. Engineering mode is a mode, and we have to pay for it. I think it's like 10,000 Kerbucks a week. And that's to simulate paying engineers. But basically, you're just putting systems out here to test them. And so, I'm okay with reverting those because it's like we're doing test runs on an engine or things like that. It's not an actual mission. So we could say they're simulating it, or they've got the engine out there on a test stand, something like that. And then our third mode is simulation mode. We also have to pay for it once a week through the cheat menu. You can add or take away like money, science, things of that nature. So we never add money. We will in the future, like if we have, we'll do like community paid launches. So like if somebody wants to see a certain mission, they can bid for it, and then if I choose their payload, then we'll say they paid us to launch it. We'll put that money in the game. But for right now, we're just taking money out. So like paying for things like that. So simulation mode, the thought behind paying it is it's like somebody has built a simulator for us. Like the lunar lander simulators. Grumman and some of the other companies that worked on the lunar lander built simulators for them. And from the mid 60s until the end, until the last crew, Apollo 17, left the moon, there was somebody in those simulators like 24/7. And so that's what we're using with simulation mode. So you can run a whole mission if you would like in simulation mode, but at the end we revert, because we're saying that that's just a computer simulation. It's not actually an ongoing mission. Okay, so all three engines are going. I guess we would throttle back some for decoupling. Yeah, see, it's getting stuck here somewhere. And I have a feeling it might be with this tank. I remember what we did last time. We used a fairing down there. Ooh, this thing is higher in the air than I realized. Let's get rid of that. So what we did last time, I remember now, so we took a 1.875 meter fairing. Attached our motor to it, and then built let's see, let's delete that for now. Let's move this out of the way. Build fairing. Okay. Turn that off. Yeah, we can set it to black. That's like the end of the tank, if you will. So we did that. And so now if something clips through this, it's not as big of a deal. And then we can probably just add to those and then move it up and just kind of trim to that piece. There we go. Although now that engine is so I remember we played with this for quite a while. getting this lined up. Let's line the engines up. And then from here we can trim in the whole thing. So that's what we did last time. So I'm hoping that won't cause any issues. Although I don't remember any of the plumbing sticking out from this section. But I guess it may have. Like I said, it looks pretty cool now. It's gonna look great once we actually get those better vernier engines. So I really like this 1.5 design. It's pretty neat. I guess that'll work, but unfortunately they're facing different ways. Let's turn that off. Turn it that way. Turn it that way as well. So now they're all facing the same way. And yeah, you can see a bit of the plumbing, so I guess that's okay. Let's check our staging. Still make sure that the center engine actually produces thrust. It's always a good thing. Let's save that and go out here and test it. So yeah, I always like building early game an Atlas Centaur. You know, the 1.5, I used to not be the biggest fan of it, but honestly, using it in KSP, you know, and getting more used to it, it's a really cool design. You know, for its time, it was a super good idea. You know, because they were still afraid of well, not afraid, but you know, they didn't know how reliably they could light engines in flight. You know, so an upper stage was kind of, you know, same reason the Russian R.7 rocket has the 4 boosters on the side, or you know, the rocket that the Soyuz uses now. It's all built off the same design all the way back to Sputnik, which was the R.7. The reason it had 4 side boosters on it was because that way they could light them all on the ground, and the center engine, you know, it had a lot more fuel tank to it, so the boosters helped get it, you know, through the atmosphere and closer to orbit, and then that center section could keep burning, you know, because it had more fuel. But you know, lighting engines, it turns out, you know, it's pretty tough. You know, if you ever try to crank a lawnmower, you know, it just sitting there sometimes, you know, it's tough to crank. You know, much less a rocket engine, which is more temperamental, you know, moving at 4,000 or 5,000 miles an hour, you know, 50,000 feet in the air, you know. So early rocketry, you know, that was a big issue. So the Atlas Centaur, you know, they would light all 3 engines on the ground, and then instead of an upper stage, you know, probably 3/4 of the way through the atmosphere, this whole section drops off and these 2 booster engines fall off, and you're left with just the center sustainer. And then, you know, similar idea. Now later iterations, they gave the Centaur upper stage, because by that point they had figured out how to reliably launch, or how to reliably light rocket engines after launch. So they were able to give it an upper stage, so it gave it, you know, that much more capability. Alright, so we're going along, this, that, and the other. So let's F3. TD-18 decoupler collided with the swivel engine. Yes, it seems like when it comes off, sometimes it kind of strikes that center motor. But then see, we're left with a much cleaner boat tail down here than before. Like I said, the only unsightly thing about this rocket now is these verniers. So there are some better tech nodes that we can unlock next, but I think our next one is going to be that tech tree where we can get the better looking verniers. Let's go up here. So I want to take this, there we go, rotate that. Let's zoom in here, because we do need to give this thing a probe core for its upper stage. That way we can deorbit it. And, you know, just control it in general. Stick that down in there. You know, I hate that we're having to use these bigger construction pieces, but in a way, you know, it does kind of act as a kind of a protector plate for the for all the electronics and everything there. So, you know, in the end, not too bad. All right, so. Those need to be lit. That fairing is not staged. So once we're up, decouple, get rid of the two booster engines, pop the fairing, and then light the centaur. Okay. And I do want to change these around. Alright, so let's save that, and let's swap over to simulation mode. And let's just, let's give this thing a dummy payload. We'll just put one of these fuel tanks up here and then just lock it. That can be our payload. But yeah, let's roll this thing out and fly it and see how everything goes. And if everything's stable, everything looks good, we have good boat tail separation, then I think we'll go ahead and pay for this variant, and it will be our new up-to-date launcher. Fairly small sat launcher. Okay, there we go. The only thing I don't like about doing it like this, the game understands that this is a hollow tube and the decoupler is also hollow, so this center engine, yeah, is making thrust. See, if we turn it down, we've got a lot less thrust. So it is making thrust. But since this decoupler is downstream, technically, of the engine, it gives us incorrect thrust to weight readouts. So we might put like a structural piece in that fairing and connect this area to it. I don't know if that would help, or since it's still in the way of that engine, maybe that's maybe that's an issue. But I would like to play around with that where we get the correct thrust to weight readings, because 0.97, we would not be going upwards if we had a sub 1 thrust to weight ratio. We're 15 kilometers. Let's go ahead and throttle back up. And once we see us get to about 35, we'll decouple this section. Okay, clean separation. And I figured, once we're further up in the atmosphere, that we would probably get a much cleaner separation. Make sure I did lock that one. So I love our Centaur upper stage here. The only issue with it is so underpowered. You see our thrust weight, and this is a true thrust weight, it's 0.5. So I really wish that Centaur would have got us higher. Although this is quite the payload, because this is basically just another Centaur up here on top. So it does have quite the load at the moment, but if it can launch this, then it should be able to launch, you know, whatever we would be able to fit in its fairings. So this will, if you have a payload this size, you know, it'd probably be better to put it on Titan. Because I suspect that this will definitely get us to orbit, but you know, you're looking at like a 10-minute long burn. So it's definitely something that we'll have to look into. But you know, like I said, you would never be launching anything this heavy on this rocket anyway, and I mostly wanted to see that. I mostly wanted to see that engine section decouple. Let's save that. Now let's save this one as test. I just want to see if we come in here and put this structural piece down. Okay. And clip it in. That way it's centered. And then bring this boat tail section back and connect it to it. And then get that lined up. Will that still occluded? Ooh, I don't know if throw this out to the pad. I don't know if you can have cross feed through that structural part. We might not. So, which I've got another idea we could try if that doesn't work. They definitely moved upwards. Oh, I have SAS on. Lovely. I was wondering why it was falling over so quickly. It still hits. Let's revert to launch and let's go ahead and fly our normal trajectory like we do, and see if it decouples properly. I know that reading of 24 meters a second is not correct. Yeah, see, now it's showing us correct thrust to weight, but now it says we have no fuel. Although I guess we can read off of this decoupler off of its section, so I guess that works in a way. It's kind of cheesy, but our thrust to weight is correct. So I think that is better. We will have to auto strut the section down here as well as that structural piece. So, and you can see our our fuel margin is actually going up, but that usually does happen with a rocket. You know, once you start getting into the upper atmosphere, where the air is not quite so thick, your leftover fuel can, you know, your mileage may vary. Basically, you know, it'll actually go up some. Let's go ahead and decouple those who did not like that. And then plus you see that structural piece there, so that's not the greatest, but it's not the biggest, not the worst thing in the world, that we could trim that up. Alright. Revert to the vehicle assembly building. I think instead of that structural piece, what we might try is a fuel tank, and that way it understands that that fuel is being transferred here. Let's auto strut it. Get rid of that. Actually, let's make that where we can that in. I'll just put it there, that way we have a mounting point. Auto strut it. Okay. Okay, let's auto strut that part, auto strut that part. What's that? So it still looks like we're not going to get the correct reading, but what's arguably more important in the lower atmosphere is keeping track of our thrust to weight. So I think this will be the better setup. Okay, see us on. I don't like that it's fighting here back and forth, but I think we might just need a another launch stabilizer up the end. Don't you actually launch, it's fine. So yeah, still not a proper reading on the fuel, though we can watch this number here, but we are getting the correct thrust weight. So I think that's the biggest thing here. And it does not look like aim the camera. Yeah, I think because we auto strutted those, I haven't seen any deviations here, so that's good. Throttle back a good bit. Once we get up to about 15 kilometers, we'll throttle back up. The pitching looks odd because the camera's aimed down here, so we're kind of behind the pivot point. Okay. Swivel collided in the swivel. So I think we'll just have to go with the I think for now we'll just go with the other design. So let's go. Let's delete that one. We'll just go with this one for now. The Delta V readouts, they are important, but this one also stages properly, whereas that other one has had 2 different strikes. So let's auto strut it just to make sure, and let's fly it. Let's fly it one more time on its own just to just check it out, and then I think for now this will be good for the Atlas Centaur. So I'd like to actually do some missions this evening, but I definitely wanted to get this rocket updated. Hi again, Sam. Yeah, she likes to come in every now and again and just yell at the stream. Tell everybody get back to work. He's a definitely the boss around here, apparently. A foreman or something. She's always telling me to get back to work. So see, in this configuration we do have see, it's the opposite of that other design. So if we open this one, we can see our actual thrust weight and our correct fuel but incorrect thrust weight. So yeah, I think in the end this inline is going to be a much better design. It doesn't look like there's been any sagging or anything since we auto strutted, so that's good. And I think last time this all of those internals looked differently because we had two of the Reliance on there instead of the swivel. Let's see. TD-18 decoupler collided with the swivel. Interesting. Yeah, I know last time we had it where it was like a perfect decoupling. So what we might do, because we do have auto strut on this too, let's turn auto strut off for the decoupler and try it, because I think that might give it just enough flex to kind of get out of the way, if you will. That might be the solution to our issue there. And instead of throttling down, I think we'll just say full blast here. That way we can hurry this along. And I guess technically too, since we've we took that one tank away on the bottom, we have less fuel, so we actually probably need to stretch this lower stage. I didn't think about that. So we might carry this a little further than that. So yeah, let's see if we can fix that. Or, you know, remedy it. So how much does this thing hold? 72 liquid fuel. That's about in line with this one. Although now we have that odd stripe in the center of the rocket. Let's see if we can't put it down here at the bottom. And then we can just, hi, Sam. Maybe just move those down into place. I think that looks pretty good. Hi, Sam. And let's add... Since we'll be turning that way, we'll just add one on this side. Check our staging. Okay. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good this evening. After work today, one of the things I did was I model HO scale model trains, and I got my shelf in here and got all the boxes and everything organized for my rail cars and everything. So I'm hoping pretty soon to get in some woodworking and build me a shelf layout. The plan is there's this design you can find. I think they've got like a website or something. It's called Freemo, and basically you build it in like certain size sections. And so it's kind of like a modular design. And I really like modular designs and stuff. I don't know why, but I do. But anyway, the plans and all are free, so anybody can build a section. And then at certain like model shows and things like that, they have like a Freemo layout. And since they're all built to the same specifications, everybody can bring their section, and you can have while it might be modeled for whatever you do specifically, 20 or 30 people can come together and put together like a whole layout, just by mating the sections together. And so I thought that was a really cool design. So I'll probably have, I think I've got room for at least 3 sections, maybe 4. I'll have to do some measuring, but the plan would be to build a few sections, but make them in that Freemo style. That way we can decouple them properly, and then take to train shows or whatever. It seems to be just like getting caught on something up here. And it wasn't before, so that is odd. We might actually just have to, as funny enough as it is, just disable auto strut and just kind of let it wobble around and do its thing. In fact, we might lower it a little bit just to make sure that nothing's actually clipping together. Hi, Sam. Yeah. I think after this test, we'll either shelf this, or if we deem it's good enough, we'll think, oh yes, ma'am, I see you. If I'm not petting her, sometimes she'll reach up here and like tap me like on the arm, like, hello, you're not petting me. Oh, you know what it might be? Oh no, they've drained those. Are those higher priority? Oh, they are. Okay, cool. I was about to say it might have some residual fuel left over in those, and so those engines are still burning, and it kind of throws that section up into the booster section, but it does not look like it. Ooh, that time it just straight up stuck and blew up our engine. Interesting. What we could do, let's turn off auto strut yet. Eventually, we could get those little separator motors and put on here. I think that would be pretty neat. So in the meantime, let's I don't want to spend too much time on this evening. So let's come down here and make a note. Begin engineering on Atlas Centaur. What was this? AC-05. 05 variant. Upgrades. Testing. Still in progress. We'll update flight. In the meantime, AC-04 variants will continue regular service. So that'll just give us an idea there that not to use that one, basically. We haven't paid for it yet, and it's not quite ready. So now let's swap over to our Omega rocket. This one. Okay, scroll up here, save, and open Elcano 3, which is our lander. Merge. Now let's see with the last Elcanos what fairing we launched with. I'm gonna have to start using the search function on here. This is getting a lot going on. The A0 configuration. Oh, I remember what we did. We had sunk the science module in some. That's what we had done. Yep, I forgot about that. So you eventually need to update the Elcano 3's file, which we can actually pull from this one later. So that's no big deal. But I forgot we had sunk that down in there. Oh, need to go a little more. Alright. Let's check our staging. The heck are you? You don't need to be down here. Okay. Engine. Coupler, decoupler. What are you? Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, where's that decoupler? There we go. Okay, that's you. And then fairing. You, and then you. Interesting. Actually, that fairing needs to go second in line there. No boosters, so we don't have to worry about that. I would like to add a connector up there to that upper stage, because you'd have some type of umbilical cord running up there for like power and fueling on the pad and things of that nature. Save that. Go ahead and roll it out to launch pad. We're actually going to be getting a good bit of science from this one, as well as finishing about 3 different contracts with this one mission. Year 2. Scroll back. So this is year 2, day 247. We'll be launching at 3:35. Save that. Or 4:35, I'm sorry, I can't read. Minus 20 seconds. T minus 10. T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and lift off. You can immediately throttle back. This is not a super big payload for our Omega rocket. It's kind of overkill. We could have done this with a Titan, but better safe than sorry. Oh, good night. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I tend to ramble, especially when it comes to aerospace and rocket history or history in general. But yeah, especially rocket history, I have the gift of gab when it comes to that. So have a good night, and tell Clay hello. And yeah, sounds good. Thanks for joining. Clean separation of the fairing. Alright, we'll go ahead and warp up to our apoapsis. Or at least somewhere thereabouts. Oh, with that sea fighting. Go ahead and get our solar panels out here, as well as our antennas. Okay. And let's set as target. And we'll see about changing our inclination here. So remember, Minmus is at a like 6.9, 6.8 degree, somewhere in there. 6.8 or 6.9 degree angle to Kerbin. Warp around there. I'll start with about 7 seconds left. Ignition. And shut. Okay, now that we're in the correct orbital plane to reach Minmus. Okay. So, warp around there. I guess it's somehow I clicked on the maneuver there. That's weird. I've never seen the camera just freeze like that. We need to be burning right now. Alright. Bring it in any. Oh, we are. Nice. Try to get as close as we can here. Get rid of that maneuver. Okay. Go ahead and warp out here. I've never seen it like. Well, I have seen this before, but I don't know how to reset it. Just go out of map view and then come back. So if I focus view, how do I focus view back to the... I don't want to add a maneuver. I just want to see this thing. That's odd. So let's check that contract, make sure it's gonna accept the where's it at? Transmitter recovery, science amendments, return from a flyby of amendments. So I guess technically we're on a flyby right now. So let's go ahead and radio in some science. So that contract is complete. Go ahead and warp to our periapsis. I wish I could reset the cameras. Let me look that up real quick. The home key. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's KSP2. Map B reset focus. Oh, there we go. It's the little, I don't know what the button is called. The little squiggly line you can put above certain words. Not an apostrophe. Whatever that thing's called. Oh, and the upper stage is finally shot. I don't know why I thought I would want to stay with the stage there. That was odd. So I would honestly like to land this thing, get some science, go to the space station. Although there's we don't have a docking port up here. Though if we can rendezvous with the station, I can send Bill out to actually put a decoupler on this thing. or not a decomper, a docking port. So honestly, we might look at doing that. Let's warp around here. Okay. Turn ourselves around here. Actually, I want to go a bit further than I want to be kind of like right in there. Let's warp on around. Like about right there. Go ahead and extend our landing gear, pull in our solar panels, and we'll pull in one of these antennas just to make sure we don't hit anything. So save that. Save that. Save that. Collect all those. You can see a texture seam right along there. That's funny. Oh, you can actually see it in the map view as well. I've never noticed that before. It's pretty funny. Okay, might need to go ahead and slow down here. That wouldn't have been great. Now we're just flying, we're not actually touching down. Oh, don't tip over. Or tip over anyway, that's cool too. I think we can use our SAS to our reaction control system to, yep, actually set ourselves back. But, it's still in orbit, no wonder. I was like, why does it still say we're moving? Turn that off where it'll actually settle. Let's go ahead and open our solar panels here. go ahead and conduct this, and this is from Minmus's Highlands. Okay, let's go ahead and collect all that data. And we still got 2,000 meters a second left in this lower stage. We could hop around and get another biome, but I kind of think I would like to launch this whole system and try to get it back as far as we can, because I would like to try to rendezvous with the space station if we can in LKO. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna step out, but I'll leave you with this view, and I'll be back in just a moment. So, get back to it here. So, I don't think there's any more science or anything we can make it run here. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves back in orbit. Oop. Forgot we were on Minmus. Let's warp up here. Alright, now that we're back in orbit, let's add a maneuver. Okay. Warp around there. Okay. Let's go ahead and put our solar panels back up. I think we already got that one. Yeah, we did. We might could get like a high over this one. See if this gets us high over Minmus. 6 and 9. Not too bad. Okay, we can go ahead and extend that and extend our antenna as well. So check and see if we can get anything here. Alright, we're curbing. I get about 9 more science. Okay. Let's face retrograde. Only 13,000 meters a second. I don't think that's right. Is it? Let's maybe see. Try to get it down right to 100,000. See if we can't eventually get us an encounter with the station. Yeah, 97. That's close enough. And we're gonna have to make a an inclination change, aren't we? Let's go ahead and get ourselves a reasonable apoapsis here. Glad we hung on to this lower stage because it looks like we're gonna need 650 meters a second here just to get near the correct plane. So this is gonna be a pretty intensive mission, all things considered. Go ahead and warp around there and finish this inclination change. Then we should be ready to start trying for an encounter here. Alright. Let's warp to our apoapsis. Oh, we're actually right at 100. Nice, that got us pretty well there. So actually, let's warp down here to 100. Just catch it next time it comes around. Alright. Let's drop a quick save just to make sure nothing happens. Warp around. Yeah, we'll face target. There we go. Quite a bit of velocity kill off here. Probably should have started this sooner. Set this target. Okay, so what's our closest approach here?
You want it? Then work it. You need it? Then earn it. You want it? Then do it. You need it? Then earn it.
So let's actually, before we warp, let's put these solar panels out, as well as our antenna. And actually, I think we can send a scientist out just to pull the data from this thing. I don't think we'll actually even have to. I don't think we'll have to try to put a docking port on it, dock or anything. Let's work back around there. Nice. Okay. So now let's face our target. Give a quick little jolt. Oop. Oh, 0.0 kilometers. That's interesting. That's a pretty cool shot. Let's warp around just a little bit. Okay, did we go past it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, shooting past us very quickly. This might actually be pretty hard because this thing is quite touchy. Let's thrust limit it down to like 10%, which isn't realistic. We can't just turn down a rocket engine like that, but this is KSP, so we can't. That's much better. Okay, let's get a couple glamour shots here. Okay, put ourselves with the target. There we go. Let's immediately point around like this. That way we can kill our velocity once we get where we need to be. So, oh yeah, we can't pull that one in, that's right. Okay, so we're at a dead stop here. So let's EVA Bob here. Oh, he got out on that side. So I think Bob's actually gonna have to use his RCS here. If he can get it turned on. Let's get a screenshot here. It's pretty cool. Can he not? There we go, take data. So technically we still haven't docked it to anything, so it should still be good to return to Kerbin and be okay. Hey Centurion, how's it going? So that little return vessel there is one of our Elcanos, but instead of sending it to the Mun, we sent it out to Minmus. Brought a bunch of data back from the surface, rendezvoused with the station, sent Bob out, and now we're gonna put that science in the mobile processing lab here. So let's review data. So we're gonna get quite a bit from this. And let's see if we have any transmittable science already. We've got plenty of data now, 557 pieces of data to go over. So yeah, this station's gonna be useful for quite a while. So let's swap back over to our returner here. Deselect the station. And now let's go ahead and deorbit this thing and get that return from Minmus contract completed. Bye, station. Okay. We'll warp to atmospheric interface, burn the rest of the fuel we have, do a backflip first, burn all this fuel because we've got it, we might as well. And we're still high enough up that atmospheric heating's not gonna get us quite yet. Although we're not actually returning any science from Minmus, this thing has landed on Minmus and we're returning it, so we should be able to complete that contract. Because I guess we probably should have held on to like one piece of data, but it just said take all. And yeah, we can always do another mission if that's the case. But I'd rather us go ahead and get that return. I don't know why it would stick with the fuel tank there. That was stupid. But yeah, I would rather us go ahead and get that return from Minmus contract completed. Oh, I forgot we were in time warp there. I was like, why is this thing so jumpy? A little bit of heating going on, not too bad. Yeah, I can't wait till we get, helicopters and a bunch of stuff, and we can actually go out here and recover either return pods like this or capsules, things of that nature. Really looking forward to that. There with that stage, I guess. And now we slowly float. So yeah, this has been a pretty neat mission. Hoping, once we land, we'll be able to complete a couple different contracts. But even if not, just getting that science to the station up there is going to be, huge for us, science-wise. That was 557 pieces of data, so it's gonna pay dividends. We got 3 different things that we'll have to check it once we get to the VAB. So we got we got 37.5 science just from bringing something back from Minmus. World's first, return home from the surface of Minmus, return home from a flyby, and an orbit. Nice. Alright, so we're now up to almost 1.5 million. So, sitting pretty there. And we finally can now unlock this node here. So earlier, we were messing around in engineering mode, which I guess we need to actually swap back to right now. We started working on our new design for, well, not new design, but our new variant of the Atlas Centaur. And we finally have the right vernier engines. So these terrible monstrosities can go die. Here we go, Twitch. I think we'll change them to that color. Like it says black, like a lot of the things like this say black, but it's like a grayish, and then you get that weird orange. Like I wish they had just made an orange variant and a black variant instead of like, you know, mixing them together. It's a lot of the Russian pieces, like the let's see. Yeah, like that one's green, it's variant. That one's orange. Or like a weird orangish. You've got green and orange there. It's interesting to say the least. Yeah, we've been working here with yeah. So on the real life Atlas Centaur, it had a couple verniers. Actually, what these are based off of, pretty much. I think the sustainer engine in the center could swivel a little bit, but not much. So most of your roll and yaw control came from these verniers. They had like a huge range, and they could point like this way, probably like a 45-degree angle or so. No, I take that back. I have actually seen video of them being like fully modulated over like 90 degrees to roll the rocket right after launch. So most of their control came from those verniers, and these engines were mostly just for pushing. So we had it working pretty well a while ago as far as, you know, decoupling and everything. But now we seem to be having an issue where it strikes the rocket. So maybe with these new verniers it will be different. Let's swap to simulation mode and roll this thing out and give it a test. So yeah, I think those new vernier engines make it look much nicer and much more close to its real life counterparts. Alright. That looks much more realistic. Although we do have a good bit less thrust, because those big vernier engines we had up there to begin with, they produced way more thrust than this does. No, I had said, and I even said like at the beginning of this series, you know, I'm not worried about, you know, we're not just gonna do historical rockets, and so far all except one of them have you know, had historical counterparts. But I find early game, a lot of times you end up, you know, just kind of building historical, or at least, you know, semi-historical rockets. Not always, but you know, with the parts you're given and all, it's I end up going down that path some. So, you know, if we have a rocket like this, I would like it to look, you know, historical, but, you know, at least have it look clean. You know, this is those burner engines give off a much cleaner looking profile than those big ones did. So you get kind of an explosion there, but see, now you've got this much prettier boat tail here. Much better looking than the old model. In fact, let's get a... Oh, that's a really cool shot. That is it. And see, now that we've gotten rid of that, now that we've gotten rid of those two booster engines, those two sustainers, we're doing much better. Fairing decided just hang around for a while, no big deal. And this is just a dummy payload we had up here. Oh, that was a cool shot. Can I... camera? There we go. So yeah, this is a way heavier load than we would ever launch on a on an Atlas Centaur. In fact, I need to swap to something smaller. But you know, just for testing, I wanted to put some kind of static payload up there. I guess a closer test would be that. Yeah, we get that one explosion. So, not the biggest fan of that, but I guess we could say that's the decoupling. But yeah, so we ended up, like I said, this is just one of those tube pieces. So it's actually downstream of this decoupler. And Kerbal understands that both of these are hollow, and so this engine can fire through them. It does mess with the delta V readings, though, or not delta V, it messes with the thrust to weight. But oddly enough, if you open up the docking port here, once you're out on the pad, it will give you the correct thrust to weight. But it does give you the correct delta V for the stage. So you have to keep both of those open to kind of get accurate data. But and we had to go with these tanks. I like the look of these better, but they only carry liquid fuel. And to run these rocket engines, you need, you know, liquid fuel and oxidizer. So we put those on there, but they're connected to this. So when we decouple this whole section, this decoupler comes off and falls away, and then you're just left with the sustainer engine here. So we're not always going to strive for, you know, historical accuracy 100%. But if I'm making you know, a historical counterpart rocket, I'm going to try to make it as close as possible. Like the Saturn V, you know, we're going to launch it in, you know, a Saturn V configuration. Now we can make upgrades to it, updates, things of that nature. But I would like to keep, you know, some form and functionality together. So let's go over here to our mission log. Ocano 3. Oh, I forgot to see when it landed. Status, success. Rendezvoused with Space Station Endurance to drop off data. Landed on Kerbin. Planned Um, save that. Make sure to see what day it is before we write this down. Day 261. Okay. Day 261. 0031. Orbit. Me. Okay. ACO5. Atlas. Centaur. Upgrades. Complete. Variant. Purchased. For 25,000 Kerbucks. Current config is ACO5. Was it F03? Let's check and make sure. I just want to make sure before we stick to a certain variant. I think it's variant 3, but I want to make sure. Yeah, variant 3. Okay, now let's go back out to the Space Center. Turn off simulation, turn on engineering. Bring up the cheats menu here. Alright, we have now paid for the new variant. And we're still at 1.4 million Kerbucks, so I think we're doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and upgrade the runway as well as the spaceplane hangar. Try to get us some more functionality there. Yeah, we can wait on updating the astronaut complex until we hire a few more Kerbals. Which, thinking of, I would like to go ahead and hire at least one more engineer and one more scientist. So let's go ahead and do that. Create a Kerbal. Let's get a female engineer. Level 0 starts out. I don't remember what the badass attribute is. I need to look that up. Okay, so it looks like the badass trait just determines like what facial expressions they can have. So Rotop, I like that. Sounds like a Russian, either a Russian or U.S. Helicopter manufacturer, like Sikorsky or something. Rotop. Let's hire Rotop. And let me make a note of that. Let's find the last time we hired a Kerbal. And make sure we get the right data here. Okay. Rooftop Kerman. Engineer. And now let's hire. Right, I did click engineer, didn't I? We better go check. Okay, Rotop is an engineer. So let's pull it up. We'll go ahead and take away 100,000 Kerbucks. Kerbals, create a male scientist, level 0. Courage can be low, but stupidity also be low. Okay. Mitbly. Mitbull. Mitbull sounds like a female. We'll go with Mitbull. Mitbull. Mitbull Kerman. Scientist. MIT BLE? Yeah. Then hire them. Go cheats and 100,000 more. So we are down below 1 million, but we now have 2 more Kerbals and some upgraded facilities. So not too bad, all things considered. Explore the Mun. Orbital spacewalk around the Mun. That's a pretty good one. Doesn't pay much though. Suborbital. So let's take that one. That one. And that one. Alright. So let's fast forward a couple more days. For tourists, I used to not take many tourist contracts, but they pay so well. I mean, we might as well. So Centurion, earlier today I got on and we only did about an hour. But you should really go back and watch episode 6. We were sending an Ares capsule to space with some tourists and Val, and I think whatever that other scientist's name is, Shangun. I went to turn the UI. Well, I turned the UI off. And I went to turn it back on and accidentally pressed the space bar and decoupled us from the command service module. It actually pushed us the rest of the way to orbit, or almost to orbit. But then when I was trying to reorient the capsule, they became unlodged from each other, and the CSM swung around and collided with the capsule. Luckily there wasn't a loss of pressure, nobody got injured or lost, but we had to, luckily our apoapsis was like 350,000 meters, so we went ahead and warped up to apoapsis, used the RCS to burn the rest of the way to get in orbit where we completed all the contracts, and then flipped and burned. That way we could re-enter. So luckily everybody made it back okay. After the investigation, we put in a fix. Our fix was just the decoupler between the command service module and the heat shield is disabled for staging. So when we get ready to shed the command service module, we'll just have to right click on it and decouple. I think that's a lot safer than than it possibly just getting bumped and coming off. It was quite the challenge. It was pretty hairy there for a few minutes. It was not great. So let's check and see, because Ares 4 is still up at the station. Is it? There's Ares 5. Oh no, it must be Ares 3. Good lord. So we gotta go way back. I want us to just keep an eye on, let's see, day 171. So, 261. Okay, so they, the Kerbals have been on the station for 97 days. So let's make a note of that here. Ares 3 crew on space station in Endurance since year 2, day 171. Current mission duration is 97 days. Return on or before. Let's see. They can stay up to, how long is it? I know he said 6 months, but there aren't actually months in KSP. Okay. So they can stay 180 days. Unless they've already been at a base for more than 2 weeks before. So like if they did a 2-week mission, which they have, so basically they're veterans at this point. Then they can stay for 240 days. But I would like to bring them home before then, so we'll stick with the 180 days there. So 71 plus 180 before year 2, day 351. So let's actually highlight that. Actually, we'll highlight this whole section just to make sure we don't miss it. Okay. Oh, and y'all can't even see what I'm talking about. I'll just share the mission log here quickly. So we'll just make this note and keep it on here when we have to return them by. So honestly, we might. Well, no, we've already got another scientist here because we've got Shongun and Nitpley now. And we've got a bunch of tourists. The tourists really stacking up. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit more. Check mission control. Satellite and geostationary. I'll go ahead and take that one. Why not? The most contracts I've ever been able to get at a time is about 11, so this is astonishing. So let's, now that we've got all that data, let me turn that off. There you go. I need to have mission log on like a hotkey or something. Let's go up to the space station. I definitely want to, upgrade the station as we go. I thought about getting rid of those 2 front Gemini modules, or at least that front one, because it's not really doing much right now. Just to kind of save on part count and everything. But I think we might just hold on to it because it's it was our first module, so it would be kind of sad to get rid of it. Rotate around, make sure that our solar panels are good. Yeah, so we've already got 90 science, and we've still got 540 data. We are about to start quickly bringing in the science data. Alright, 87 more data. Back to the Space Center. So yeah, we'll keep expanding our knowledge, but I think we're really about to start going through the tech tree. $136. We don't quite have enough yet for the next one. Relay. The next probe core would be nice, but honestly, it's not a requirement right now. I'm really thinking about either advanced aerodynamics or specialized construction. That way we can get the regular sized docking ports. Because I would like to, once we start building stations like for the Mun and Minmus, I would like to have that bigger docking port on there where we don't have to worry about stability so much. So let's go in here. Do a orbital station around Minmus. For some reason, I was thinking we had an orbital station contract for the Mun. I'm not seeing it. Science from the surface of the Mun, we can go ahead and finish that one. Let's see. Pilgrim one. Here we go. We need to launch some more of the Pilgrims, but that was the missions. We had like 3 fail in a row, so I think Pilgrim 2, 3, and 4 at least all ended up in the ocean. So not a successful program in that regard. Alright. Well, there's that contract finished. Yeah, I would like to start getting some stuff together to send out to the Mun, as far as, human rating, or Kerbal rating, not human rating. You know what I mean. Science data from space around the Mun. We'll get that one too. That'll probably be Munsplorer. Yep, Munsplorer 1. I don't remember if we ever actually launched any more Munsplorers. I think that was the only one. Because it was supposed to be just like a flyby, but then we ended up having enough fuel that we captured around the Mun, so we ended up just leaving it there. Alright. Well, the money just keeps rolling in. KSP is one of those things, like, you know, early game, it's so hard to build up money, like, to unlock the upgrades for, like, for your different areas, and then, like, you know, especially the way we're playing it, you know, we have to take money out for designing rockets or, you know, doing things like that, and yeah, it can add up very quickly. So let's see. Oh, that said the mon.
You want it,
Thought it said something different.
you need it, then earn it. You want it, then do it. You need it, then earn it.
I hope this one doesn't have to be in one piece. Okay. Must be fully assembled when launched. Yeah, that one's gonna be... now we might have to actually kind of cheat that one complete, because I don't... Where did it go? It says it wants 3 pilots on the station, but I'm not. I don't launch. I don't launch crew on space station modules. Now, like, if it's the space shuttle bringing up a space station module, that's fine. But actually launching the space station as a whole, ready to go in one piece, I don't want to. Don't want to risk the crew. So just for that, you know, I think we would do that, and then we can see it might go ahead and let us have it, you know, if you brought up the crew on their own, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's go ahead. I think we need to run at least one Ares mission, probably 2, just to start cutting down on some of these tourist contracts, because they're getting stacked up. Get a lot of flights to do. Okay. So we'll send Val up again. Alright, let's send our new engineer up. That way he can get ready to go. Let's see. 2 tourists. I know they've been waiting for a little while. Samden and Afton. There we go. Make sure to put them in the same capsule. And I guess we could take those 2 individual, because we only have 2 seats left. But we do have those 2 individual rides. We got those 2. Johnry and Catmund. Cat Pond. Some interesting names here. So let me pull up the log. Ares 5 was the last mission that we did. So this will be Ares 6. Ares 6. Tourist contracts, multiple. Okay. So this is gonna be Val as our commander. You know, she was on that one that that almost crashed. Rotop. our engineer. Get him up flying around and get him trained. Cat Pond. It's a tourist. Johnry. Samden. I think we had Samden on a earlier flight. I must have really enjoyed it. Like Cath. Because I remember saying like, oh, I better not say that too much because our cat's gonna think I'm calling her. So this is the 14th orbital cruise launch. Okay. And we'll have to make a note of our launch date when we get out to the pad. I think we might also hold on to the launch escape system until we make it in orbit, or at least into space, and then we can get rid of it. And I'll make a note of that on the mission log. Alright. Year 2, day 280. 435. As always. Check our staging while we're sitting here. That's looking good. T-minus 20 seconds. T-minus 10. T-minus 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Alright. Good. Throttle back our 3 core engines. You know, despite that upper stage issue, that's the first issue we've had with an Ares rocket. And even then, it wasn't an issue with the rocket, it was just an issue with me fat fingering the space bar. So, and it's still, for what it's worth, it did get us to orbit. We weren't connected to it, but it got us there. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was too close for comfort, though, I will say that. Back to full throttle. So we'll try to punch our way through the atmosphere here as quickly as possible. And we're not targeting a specific orbit here. I would like to get about 150 by 150 if possible. As long as it's not like last time, 350 by like 60. We had to do some burning once we got to our apoapsis. All right. We're in space, so we can go ahead and get rid of that launch escape system. It's definitely not going to do us any good now. Oop, we're a little past. you know, for what it's worth, this is a really cool looking capsule. I still kind of hate I stole that idea from Rocket Guy, but you know, he was making a whole shroud system and everything. And, like, I just want the look, because like I think that squared off base, it looks like the Starliner, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense. So we got 166.3. 166.3, what does it say? 353 by 91.32. Okay, save that. So yeah, we'll let them stay up here for a little while. You know, I was thinking earlier that we could give this capsule an update, you know, now that we've got the retractable solar panels. But these have been doing such a good job that I don't think there's any reason to swap them right now. You know, this thing's not a super long duration capsule. For right now, it's just LKO. So, you know, I'm okay with it staying like it is, honestly. Go ahead and warp down a little further. About 75 or so. We'll get rid of the CSM there. Yeah, getting both to and out of orbit was done just on the RCS, which luckily, like I said, that stage, it was decoupled, but it was kind of still stuck on the back of us. So we actually rode it for quite a while, and so it got us close to orbit. I started trying to flip us around, you know, to not get too far into orbit. And that's when, you know, it finally slid off and then came around and kind of struck the left side of the capsule. It was definitely an interesting moment. So honestly, we might use the Ares design for our moon missions, or for our Mun missions, but we might just go with like a traditional Apollo setup, at least at the beginning. And this can kind of stay our LKO capsule. At least until we start building like space stations and stuff out there, and then at that point, you know, we could probably upgrade, because I was looking at making a Ares XL earlier to complete a station contract, but I don't know how I'm feeling about it. We might, you know, it just kind of depends. Once we get right at 1,000, we'll cut these chutes and then pop the mains. And there we are. Alright. I hate those asshats coming in here and being like, oh, click here for more viewers for your channel. No thanks, I'd rather not be scammed today. Please just leave me alone. I didn't realize RCS was still on. I guess technically SAS doesn't even have to be either. And splash. So yeah, as soon as we get those Mark III parts unlocked, you know, can't wait to build ships and come out here and recover our capsule and have the helicopter pick it up. We could also look at if we have a boat and get the robotics that are strong enough. You know, you could have like a crane on a boat and pick it up, or even have like an LHC, like a lander, like an amphibious landing ship, come up and kind of just scoop it up. There's several different ways we could do it. I would like to do it all the ways, actually. I think it'd be cool to use helicopters. Picking it up with a ship would be cool. The amphibious kind of like the D-Day landers almost, you know, the Higgins boats. You know, there's a bunch of different ways to do it. You know, the crane idea, you know, that's kind of what SpaceX does. You know, they send a ship out there and basically just back up to it and you know, hook a couple robotic arms to it and just, you know, lift it up on the ship. So, you know, that would be pretty cool. Not taking any more of those. I've got one of them. I think just one. Yeah, I've got this high G adventure, but I still don't know what to do. Like, I've put him in not a super high performance jet, but you know, as good as we can make right now. And like, it's hard to make Kerbals pass out. We pulled like 7 Gs and it didn't even pick up the meter. He was just like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay then. Cool, I guess. We still gotta do these atmospheric surveys. I feel like the jet could make it out there, but you know, it would definitely be pushing it. Actually though, now that we do have the upgraded spaceplane hangar, we could look, now this will be tomorrow, I obviously won't do it tonight, but you know, we could look into making you know, some bigger aircraft. Cause we still don't have really any. Like, we've got this one, you know, we could make a 2.5 meter, although we still don't have like a 2.5 meter fairing or anything like that, but we do have a few options. You know, you could like drain all the fuel out of that one, you know, stuff like that, and build out pretty long. Yeah, you could build something like that, although that does like pretty stupid. You know, something to this effect. Like, yeah, technically we could do something like that and start making a big aircraft, but I don't know. I would like more 2.5 meter parts before we like the fairing and like the different payload options and stuff. But we can open up the F-86. There it is. Yeah, we could always give this thing drop tanks. That would be pretty cool. Glad that it didn't change. And actually, we might put them out just a little bit. That way, it does sling it away from the jet, so we decouple them. Probably wouldn't be a half bad idea.
You want it? Then work it. You need it? Then earn it. You want it? Then do it. You need it? Then earn it.
So I'm gonna shorten that up. Then that needs to come forward a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Just had it backwards. So let's set the priority on these higher. Let's say 15. That way we make sure we pull from our drop tanks. And in fact, we can add another right on the center line of the aircraft. That we will need to trim it up some. I definitely don't think it would take this much fuel. But then you do have to worry about ground clearance there. So we'll set those to like 5. That way those 2 outer ones will drain first, and then we can still hold on to this this center tank and pickle it later. So let's swap over to simulation mode. And roll this thing out to the launch pad and see where it gets us from there. Yeah, make sure that we've still got enough clearance to not strike the runway or anything. But well, and enough lift and thrust to take off still. We do have to do that. I don't think we can taxi all the way there. And now that we have the paved runway, I don't think this will be near as big of an issue as before. But we will keep an eye out here. You definitely wouldn't want to land with this one here. Still has that weird kind of wiggle. Is steering disabled on? Ooh. Okay. Well, it's not happy about flying, but it's doing it. What's our thrust to weight here? Yeah, 0.71. Decent for a passenger aircraft, but a small jet like this, it's definitely underpowered. We are pulling from the outboard tanks. Yeah, we're slowly beginning to go. I just don't know why we have that odd wobble on the runway. Unless these wheels are still somehow kicked out a little bit, but I don't think they are. But I could be mistaken. Let's test out. Let's level off here. What is that? Oh, some kind of debris in orbit. Let's go ahead and pickle those tanks. So, not great that they come back up and hit the wing. That's not exactly desired. So we will have to, I don't know, maybe give them just a touch of trim down. That way they catch the air a little bit once they decouple. Can I not click on things? Hello? KSP? Is anybody home? Okay. It's doing that weird thing where you can't click on anything again. I don't know what causes that. I guess just KSP running for a while. It has been going for a little over 3 hours. But it's just odd. I think we could probably get away with just the 2 wing tanks. But never hurts to have more fuel. I just don't know why we're getting that weird yawing issue when taking off. I don't feel like the rudder is too small for this thing. Yeah, you are enabled to steer, right? Okay, so let's angle these down just a tad. That way, once they release, hopefully they won't fly back up into the wing or the jet itself. Yeah, I don't know about these wheels, like... Okay, they're good that direction. They should be good there. Okay. What about you? Everything looks to be symmetrical. Just odd that we get that that weird yaw every time we take off. And like if you see it early enough, you can remedy it. But then if you correct too hard, then it's then it becomes like an oscillating issue. Try to watch and see if we see anything. no yaw inputs yet. But then there at about 20 meters a second or so, you get a yaw input. I don't think it's anything like pulling it one way or another. It's like, now that we're flying, you don't have a phantom yaw. So it's just kind of odd. And we do need to move that pressure barometer because they can't EVA at the moment. So for whatever reason they need to bail out. They are on their own. Still comes up in a plane. That's odd. I guess for the stray source of directional instability always bothers me. Difficult to diagnose. Yeah, I don't like, you know, at one time these main gear, you know, we accidentally had them kind of pigeon-toed because you know, because of this wing. Like if you attach things to it, they're not quite centered, you know. Yeah, I wish they came off the rail a little better. Is there any way to turn these up? No. What we might do. No, it kind of seems counterintuitive, but bring it up further where, you know, once the air catches it, it should fling it off. There's not much we can do for that center one. Nope. Especially not that. Except maybe... Well, it's already up, but just as far as it needs to be. I guess we could try to put it toward its center and just kind of drop straight away. Let's try that. It thinks that the torque would rotate it in this. I did tilt them down just a little bit. So in theory, you know, they should, once you decouple, since they're not flying at a perfect angle of attack, they're actually down a little bit. As soon as you decouple them, the front of those tanks should grab the air and pull them back from you. In theory, I guess we'll see if it works or not. See, as soon as you take off, then it's pretty stable in yaw. But for whatever reason, on the ground, it's determined that it's gonna have some kind of weird instability. Our speed could also have something to do with the decoupling here. You know, we can try either faster or slower. Might be the trick. I guess let's go ahead and kind of level out here. Odd that there's no... I mean, there might be some aerodynamic effect. Yeah, there's a little. You have to kind of zoom in here to get them. Okay. So it does go down, but then it immediately gets shot back into the wing. Interesting. It loses a little bit of speed here. Well, that worked well. So that center one is good to go. But there's two wing ones, which they are also full of fuel right now. So they probably slow down a lot more than they would if they'll slow down a lot less when they're empty. But we can also try sliding them to... Yeah, Centurion. I just thought of that. I don't know why I hadn't sooner. Let's drain all the fuel out. But we do have to remember to put it back in as well. Hopefully the fuel being gone doesn't change anything with that center tank, because it did very well. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, because we're not going to be pickling them full unless we get jumped by some MiG-15s all of a sudden. Then we might have some bigger issues than just fuel tanks. Okay. I also need to kind of, like, I hate to move them around because we already got them fixed, but I hate that it clips in the engine there, which once we get the afterburning engine, you won't see it anyway. I would say we fly a lot quicker with empty tanks. We'll climb up to about 1 kilometer or so, like we've been doing. Make sure flying level. Whew. Yeah, that was worse, but the center one still did well. So let's I think we might move those wing tanks back to where they're in the center. You know, I would think with them, you know, because this is kind of the setup F4 Phantoms had. You know, most of the tank actually was out in front of its coupler, but you know, when it got jettisoned, yeah, they would just kind of rip away like that, but not this one, I guess. Alright. So we'll roll this out, and we also need to see if she can get out of it now, because in previous iterations, something's been trying to, something's been blocking the capsule from getting out. Okay. Make sure she can... I don't know what it's obstructed by. Like, there's nothing on the capsule here. It may actually be the batteries. We might have to move them. Odd view you don't usually get. Let's cut down the angle there. So I feel like it's kind of an induced yaw there. Because it starts out not too bad, but then it gets to really moving around. See, it just kind of starts in on itself like that, and you don't even see that during landing. Like when you get ready to land, you don't have that. Yeah, we might just get rid of those wheels and just, you know, click some new ones on there. It seems like, you know, once a wheel or something gets off angle and you can't find it easily again, best just to get rid of them and try again. We're also gonna have to move those batteries. Alright, pickle test 1. That worked well. Oh, there they go. Pickle test 2. Worked well. Okay. So let's move those batteries, delete those wheels, and get them replaced. I think go like up here in the nose or something. And delete y'all.
You want it? Then work it. You need it? Then earn it. You want it?
So we might just
You need it?
start them out there and then move them out here just to make 100% sure. Make sure that steering is disabled. I think those need to come down some. Up a little. Alright, try that. And I guess if we still see it, you know, I mean, technically we could. Oh, that's not auto-strutted. I think though. No, I don't guess so. We'll put it back there. And just clip it up here. Alright, our nose wheel will be just a little bit lower, or, you know, hang down a little further than our main gear, so that's good. So hopefully now she should be able to EVA, and also not flip while going down the runway. So it's a little hard for me to not think straight, but just talk this evening. I'm diabetic and my sugar's been running kind of high this evening. It kind of like you lose like 10 intelligence points, I swear. Nope, forgot to see if she could get out. Alright, she can get out now, although you don't need the helmet. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to click that. I meant to unlock the brakes. But we do know they're working properly now. So now it's just this wheel issue. Watching the yaw here. It wiggled a time or two, but I think that's just bumps in the runway. Yeah, I think you called it, Centurion. It's something to do with those wheels. I mean, looking at them, they look perfectly in line, but you never know. And that jettison's fine. So, well, I was gonna say we could scoot that wheel back, but I kind of hate to mess with it almost. We could scoot it back a little, just enough that it's not seen. But I think we'll do that, and we'll add the fuel back to those fuel tanks. Now, obviously not tonight's episode, because it's already getting kind of late, but once we hop back in tomorrow, probably, we might try flying out there and finishing that contract up. I hate when you do them in symmetry. See, this side's perfectly lined up, but now that side's not. Those tanks are just something. But they'll be fine. Alright, and now that we're not locked to 30 parts only, 6 science. Let that one there. Let me actually scoot it back a little. We'll put these right here in the wing roots. They can kind of fill up that gap and be useful. Actually, let's rotate that around. There we go. No wing box structural issues here. That baby is strapped on. Alright, man. Yeah, good to see you. I don't know that I'm going to be on myself much longer here. But yeah, hope to see you again tomorrow. And yeah, hope you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. I just noticed that this tapers down and then it goes back over for the fairing there. That's an interesting look. I don't know if that I hate it. That actually is pretty cool. And the contour goes better. I guess as long as that doesn't block the airflow, that's pretty neat. I think I'm okay with this clipping in a little bit. Like I said, once we get the afterburning engine, you won't be able to see that anyway. And we'll leave this up here because it is a atmospheric pressure mission. Make sure all those are fully fueled. They are. That section's fueled. This one's empty though for balance. That one's full. That one's full. So yeah, we should have pretty good range here. wish you could get rid of that ring around it. I guess you can't use these dome lights. That looks kind of stupid. Here we go, navigation lights. I've never used these before. Guess they do need to come back just a little. Okay, I do need to look up, let's see, landing lights color. I know one side's got to be green and the other red. I don't remember which is which. Okay. So it's like red on the left and green on the right. So remove from symmetry. Red on the left. And green on the right. Alright. And I guess on these we can also add our spotlights. Although it'll technically just be in front of them. If you could just get rid of that ring. I mean, that kind of hides it, but... Lights on. So that'll be like our landing lights. Let's roll this out and test it one more time just to make sure we haven't messed anything up. And then, I think we'll call this aircraft ready to go for that mission. All right. There's our lights. So if we toggle them. Okay. Ooh, this thing is loaded down. Fully fueled. And got all our upgrades and updates. We are ready to go. Ooh, that was kind of induced by me. Didn't mean to. Turn those lights off. Good. Pull our flaps in. And then once we get ready for this mission, we'll be heading kind of on the 45-degree mark here. Because it's pretty much exactly northeast of us. Just we're down here, all the way up there. So we'll have to fly over Kerbal, North Korea, and on out there. So that mission's gonna take forever. Luckily, we seem to be sipping fuel. Our estimated burn, yeah, it just says over 10,000. So I'm thinking we'll have enough. We'll have enough fuel to get there and back. I think it's just gonna take 3 forevers. So that might even be like a whole mission on its own, or if it ends up being too long, we might fly her out there, fly around, collect everything, land somewhere around there that's flat, and finish it another day. So let me swap us back to mission mode. So I do want to go back out to the KSC view as a whole, and go ahead and get rid of those contract pop-ups that we completed. So we're back up above $1 million Kerbucks. Nice to see, even though we've hired several Kerbals this time, and really expanded on some capabilities. We got the new variant of the Atlas Centaur, so we are making some good progress here. Alright, here we are at the station. Transmit science. 135, not bad. It's actually transmitting rather quickly. Usually it takes a good bit longer than this. I do guess we have enough antennas on board that it should be good. And just like that, 135 more science. So I think we'll go ahead and unlock whichever tech node we think is best, and then we'll probably call it there for tonight. $278 science. It's nice to see. Okay. Landing, I mean, it would get us 3.75 meter heat shield. I don't think we need one that big. That one would get us some more aircraft parts. This one would get us the, was this Mark II, as well as the afterburning engine. That one would get us a lot of robotic parts. Honestly, I think I'm liking specialized construction because we could get the bigger fairing. We could get some more structural pieces here. Be more good, and that docking port. Advanced fuel, that would be pretty cool. We could use it for more stuff. The rocket engines, for the time being, they're okay. So I actually don't know on this one. We could go several different ways. Technically, we could go ahead and get one of the 300s if we save our science here a little bit. We would be able to get some more science if we unlocked that one. Scanning tech, that one would also give us more science. That one would give us the little rover wheels. I'm thinking we'll go aerodynamics because then next we can start getting those Mark III parts, which means that we can start building some ships and stuff. Ooh, 104,000. Damn. And also now, since we've got this bigger turbo shaft engine and bigger blade, I think bigger blades, we can work some more on our Sikorsky Sky Crane. We can build some smaller helicopters. We can build some bigger ones. So that should be quite the upgrade there. We still got 118 science, so we're still doing pretty good. Yeah, I think that will do it for us as far as the gameplay. I do want to pull up the mission log here and get our after action report going on. We'll just copy that whole thing. After action report. Our funds, we have 1,000,000. Let's see, 108,669. 108,669. Not too bad. 118.6 science. 118.6. Our Kerbals, let's see. Val, Sean Gun, Munrig, or Moonrig. I don't know how you would say that. Moonrig, Rotop, and Mitley. KC Astronaut Complex, all others on Space Station. Endurance. So we now have 10 Kerbals. There are 10 astronauts. And then tourists, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tourists. So they just swapped. We had 10 tourists last time and 8 astronauts. Now we have 10 astronauts and 8 tourists. Quick save. Let's go ahead and throw down a quick save. Now we're on number 23. Okay. So we did that one. We did that one. We did that one. Usually that works. Oh, there we go. Let's see, we've still got a couple tourist ones. We've got 3 tourists, 4 tourists, and then the high G. 3 to space, 4 to space. Atmospheric surveys. I think that's all the big ones for now. We can kind of geostationary set. Geostationary set mission. we'll save that, and yeah, I think we'll pick it up here either tomorrow or whenever we stream next. Should be tomorrow, but no promises. Let's swap over to Mission Control here. Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And yeah, hope to see you here next time. So, happy kerbling.